your girl, Tammy, or whatever you want to call me. But I'm what? I'm what? I'm back. Like I never left, which I really didn't, but I just been neglecting my YouTube channel so bad. So I got a story time for you guys, and I'm gonna hop right into it. I'm not gonna ramble. I'm not gonna do none of that. Let's go. All right, y'all. So this story time gonna be about when one of my coworkers was stealing my tips, and I almost had to do it to him. Let's go. So this was kind of my introduction into adulthood because, well, not my introduction into adulthood, but my introduction into when you become a server, you all for yourself. Like anybody who's a waitress, a bartender, a bottle girl, any of that, you already know when it comes to them tips, oh, it's a problem. It gets, I'm stuttering. It gets ugly about them tips. I promise. It gets ugly, baby. But anyway, so this was my second job, and it was at IHOP, and I went in, I filled this when we had paper applications. I went in, I filled out my application. I got hired on the spot because they really needed help. So anyway, I had to come to work that night. And the lady who trained me, we're gonna call her Respucia because that's who she looked like. I've been had this name for her like last week. She had this name then because this is what I used to, Respucia. That's her name, Respucia. But anyway, so he was like, oh, Respucia. Well, my boss who hired me, he was like, okay, well, Respucia is gonna train you, and we're gonna train you for a week. And while you're training, you get paid minimum wage and you don't get no tips. Nah, normally when I do something, I don't need to be trained forever. So she trained me for 3 days. She didn't train me for a week. So anyway, she trained me for 3 days. After 3 days, I was good. I got it down pat. Even though this is my first year serving, I got it. It's self-explanatory, really. So yeah. She trained for those 3 days. She was real cool, but you can tell, at the time, I was probably like 19 or 18 or 19. She was probably like in her late 30s, early 40s. So life probably beating her up, and this is the money that she need to make. But same thing for me, because life was beating me up at 19, baby. I need every dime that I had. But they think you young and don't need your money. But anyway, I just got deep real fast. Anyway, where I left off at? Yeah, she trained me for 3 days. And after she trained me, I was like, oh, I'm good. I don't, I got it. It was self-explanatory. She was like, okay, cool. So for those 3 days, all the tips I got, she got them. They was her tips because technically she trained me. I don't know what I'm doing. So she trained me how to do this. So if you're a server, the first week of training, the first time of training, you got to give a person your money. You don't get no tips. Unless the person hand you the tip to you, that's when you get it. But if they leave it on the table, it's not yours. It's the person who trained you. So anyway, she would get all the tips. Okay, so on the 4th day, I started working by myself. She was like, you good? You got it? I was like, oh, yeah, I'm good. I got it. So this was another thing, sections. So when you first start out, they always try to give you like 2 or 3 tables. So I started out with 3 tables. I'm like, cool, 3 tables is good. 3 tables with 6 people can sit in. But normally, they're not going to sit 6 people there. But, okay, 6. That's what, 18 people. If I get all of them be 6 tops, okay, cool. So I got my little section. I'm being seated. All my stuff is filling up. All 3 of my tables. They not all 6 tops. They might be 3. They might be 4. They might be 5. I don't think I had now 6 tops for like the first week or 2. I didn't have a 6 top. So I'm taking orders. They leaving me everything. But the thing about it was, every night, if you're a waitress, once again, you got your book. So when the person put the money on the table, you just make sure they got enough to pay their bill. And at the time, this is what I was doing. You got to think about, like, I was new to serving. So I'm just make sure they got enough money for their bill and just putting it in my book, because they was like, oh, your tip gonna come out of whatever left over after you cash out. So I'm like, yeah, girl, it's gonna have to be some left over. So I'm picking up the money off the table, because back then you could leave the money on the table. You don't have to sit and wait to be cashed out, because we carry around the money anyway. So they just leave the money on the table. You rarely ever got somebody like, hey, here you go, unless they had a credit card. That was the only time, but a lot of cash was being used. Unless they had a credit card or something, then they left the money on the table. So anyway, at the end of the day, on my I know I was talking about fourth day, but it was my fourth day. On my fifth day, the first day I was just happy to get through it, and I had all day money. I think on the fourth day I had like $6 left over. I was like, this is cool, you know, it's my first day by myself. They probably didn't leave me in anyway. So it was like $6 in tips for the fourth day. So the fifth day, by the end of the day, I'm like, dang, nobody ain't leaving me nothing, because I ended up with like $4 on the fifth day. So I'm like, dang, I must be giving horrible service, because ain't nobody leaving me nothing. So one thing about IHOP and places that open 24 hours, they really want you to work every day. I don't think I had an off day. Probably ever at IHOP. I don't think I was ever off. No, I don't think I was ever off. I don't remember off day. But anyway, so the sixth day, I'm working, and I'm like, dang, I hope I make some money today, because I gotta give my ride some gas money. Like, I ain't been able to give my ride no gas money. I don't even remember who my ride was, but I knew that was the reason. I had a ride. I don't know who the ride was. I swear I don't, y'all. But I know I had to give them some gas money. So I'm like, dang, I gotta give them some gas money. Whatever. I don't know, it was my uncle, my cousin, I know it was a guy, and I knew it was a family member, but I don't remember my uncle. I don't know my brother. I don't know who it was. I forgot. But I know I had to get them some gas money, because they was like, they needed some gas money. This was like my 7th day of work, not giving no gas money. So, cool. Or whatever. So, anyway, what I was saying, yeah. 7th day, I'm working. I'm like, oh, I hope I make some tips today, because I ain't been making nothing. I ain't been making nothing at all. So, I stopped Respucia, and I'm like, Respucia, girl, I've been barely getting tips or whatever. And I probably been making like $4, $5 every day. She looked at me like,
you gotta grind. You gotta do what you gotta do. It be like that sometimes. People don't have to leave you nothing.
I was like, oh, my bad. I didn't even mean to talk to you, because the energy she gave me was like, do you think I give a fuck? Like, she looked at me like, do you really think I give a fuck?
Do you really think I give a fuck? Do you?
She didn't. She didn't give a flying fuck. So, I went on about my business. I just let her have it. I'm like, whatever. I ain't talked to the manager in there, because everybody just working. Then I had another coworker who I used to talk to. What am I gonna name her? Shan. I'm gonna name her Shan. Okay, so I was talking to Shan. We were standing there by the computer while we waited on our tables to eat, because all my tables was full. I was having the same section for the last, 4 days that I've been working by myself. I've been at the same section. I'm like, girl, I'm talking to Shan. I'm like, Shan, girl, I don't know if it's the section or what, but I ain't been making no tips. I've been getting $5 or $6 after I turn in my cash out every night. And I know, like, I've been giving good customer service. I know they been leaving me something. It ain't no way. So she was like, yeah.
Girl, that's normally a good spot.
I was like, it is? She was like,
yeah, because when I be over there, I be making by the end of the month, I make at least $150.
What? You be making what? She be like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's me, girl, because I'm new. She was like,
no. She was like, if you pay attention, she was like, we have a lot of the same people in here. Like, we're in a certain spot. So a lot of the same people come in here off the interstate every day to eat right before they go to work.
My job was right at the interstate. I was like, okay. Thank you, Shan. Thank you, girl. She was like, yeah.
She was like, but it gonna get better, girl. Don't worry about it. Let me go check on my table.
I was like, cool. Thank you. I needed it. That's what I was trying to get from Respucia, but the person who trained me, the person who I thought, you know, she trained me, so why not go to her? Anyway, so then I'm going to just fast forward to like, I'm going to just say the third week, because that was the first week. I'm going to fast forward to the third week. Y'all, when I say by the third week, I had not made nothing. Every day I was leaving with no more than $10 in tips. Every day. And it's the third week I've been working. And you know, as a server, your checks don't be nothing. Because you're dependent on your tips. Like my check was probably like $70, $80 for 2 weeks. Because I'm a server. We make $225. So I'm like, dang, this ain't finna work. This is not finna work. This not finna work. I'm not finna keep working here. So then I went to my manager who hired me. It was a big light-skinned guy. What am I calling him? I'm just our manager. So I went to my manager and I told him I'm not making no money. Like, this is not finna work. Like, I don't know why I'm not making no money. I'm like, my customers telling me, you're such a great server. You're so sweet. You're so wonderful. Blah, 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 blah. Ain't no way I'm not making no money. Like, this not finna get it now. So he was like, nah, you one of my best servers. For you to just start, I ain't had no complaints. You don't be needing no help with the POS system, like nothing. Like, hold on, like, ain't no way. He was like, okay, give it like another week, and if you don't have no handmade, no money, then I got you. Like, I'm just gonna give you a certain amount of money at the register for the days or whatever. Like, whatever. I don't remember exactly what he was trying to do, but I knew he was gonna try to give me some money in some kind of way or whatever. He was gonna add it to my check or something he was gonna do. He was gonna help me out with it or whatever. Because, like I said, I'm not making no money. I could barely, the $10 I do make, I gotta get somebody to come take me home. Because I don't got no car. So I was like, all right, another week after that, I'm not doing it. No more, I will quit. He was like, okay, give it another week. Okay, so I go back out, just start surfing, doing the regular, whatever. So Respucia walked up to me and she was like,
what's going on? I was
like, what make you think something going on?
She was like, oh, you was in the manager's office. Is everything okay? You know, you could have came to me.
I was like, no, I just ain't been making no money. Like, I ain't had no tips. Ain't nobody leaving me no tips. I don't know what's going on with my, I'm talking like she over here. I don't know what's going on with my tips. I ain't got no money. I ain't got no tips. And this ain't finna get it. Like, I'm not finna be here. She was like, oh,
it's gonna happen. It was like that for me when I first started. I was barely making any money for like a good 2 or 3 months.
So you were here 2 or 3 months. You was so greedy. I want 10 tables and the whole middle section where everybody like to sit as was okay for being here 40, almost 40 serving, making no money. Save it. I was like, whatever. Like, I kind of gave her the cold shoulder because when I came to talk to you the first time, you brushed me off. So don't kind of try to come talk to me now, girl. But I'm like, I'm good. I just walked. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I walked out. So she was like, okay. But anyway, so I continued to serve. But so happened that night. How much money I was left with? About $40, y'all.
$40. Look, man.
That night, after doing all my side work, doing everything, count my money out, being the person, I had about $40. I was like, oh, okay. That's weird. Okay. okay. I said, I got my $40. I'm like, okay, by the time something ain't come to work for nothing, but $40 still ain't nothing when it's everybody leaving here with $150 and up a day. And I'm leaving with 40, and it's my third weekend. And this is my first time making $40. I think it was like $43. Like, this is my third weekend. I only got $43. This is my highest tip besides the $10 I've been getting for the last 3 weeks. 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks, because she trained for 3 days. But, yeah. So, I told him, I was like, well, I made $40 a night or whatever, finally. Because when we count our money, we all kind of be, like, sitting beside each other. Not directly beside each other, but, like, I'll be sitting right there. She'll be sitting there saying, we'll be talking about, oh, what you made tonight? What you made tonight? What you made tonight? What you made tonight? And this night, I don't know, like, Respucia just seemed so interested in what did I make. She was like, oh,
Did you make anything tonight, sweetie?
I said, yeah, I made like $43. Finally, I made something. She was like,
See, I told you. She was like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
anyway, I was like, whatever. Still ain't nothing. But it's a start from making $10 a night. So, the next night I came to work. I'm not going through what I did when I went home. I left. No, I'm not doing all that. But so the next day when I came to work, and I worked in the morning, I worked from 7 a.m. to I think I worked, because I had one child, so, and my son wasn't in school. He wasn't in daycare. He was just staying at home. I think he was at home with his dad or his grandma. But I didn't have a problem with babysitting or nothing. So it was like, so I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 7 to 7. Because I think IHOP, like, would make you work 12 hours. I think it was literally like 7 to 7. If it wasn't 7 to 7, it was like 7 to 4, I think. 7 to 4. It was 7 to 4. So, yeah. So I came to work the next day. I was like, okay, it's going to be a good day. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm working, cleaning, doing what I do, serving, whatever. By the end of the day, I got my money. What I got today, y'all? $6. Yeah, just $6. I'm like, damn, here we go again with the $6. So I brushed it off. I took it as a loss. I took another loss. And, okay, I'm cool with it. It happens. I ain't trying to go complain again today. So, the next day, I come to work again. The same thing happened. It's $6 again. That's it. I don't even got another week in me. I think it been like 4 days since I said something to him. 3 days, whatever. I ain't got another week. I ain't got 3 more days in me to even spare for this job. So, he was like, okay, check this out. We gonna run the camera back. And we gonna see if somebody taking your tips or are you not getting tips. He was like, because this is a good section. There's no way you're not getting your tips. So he was like, home. He was like, give me like an hour. He had a meeting or something. He was like, we're gonna run the cameras back. And no matter of fact, it wasn't a meeting. We actually had like a employee appreciation like certificate. He had to hand out some certificates to all of us. It was like one of those days, and like, you know, hand out employee of the month, some shit. That's when they did that. Like, it was something like that. So that was gonna take an hour. He was like, after we do that, we gonna run back the camera. I was like, okay, cool. So he doing that. So we get on to the thing, the ceremony or whatever. It was before we opened, because it was at 7. I went to work at 7, so, well, I'm talking before we opened. We was always open. I think we closed for like an hour. Yeah, we closed for like 7 to 8. And then we did the thing or whatever. And they passed out. I ended up getting a certificate. I had that certificate for so long. I ain't even gonna lie, I probably still got it. In the closet somewhere. I had that certificate for so long because that was my first time getting a certificate of completion for like a job or something. And I just felt so proud. Like, I just felt so proud. Yeah, I was so glad. I was so happy. I'm like, look at me. Like, yeah. I used to like show people that, and like they used to be like, okay. And it was just like, what was the certificate for? Best employer or something. Best something. But best something. But anyway, he gave out everybody their certificates or whatever. So after he gave out the certificates or whatever, he was like, all right, come on, Tammy, we finna figure out what's going on. So he ran the cameras back. So we looking at the camera. He ran the camera back for the whole time I was there. For the whole month, because you got to think about it, it'll be a month and 3 days. So he ran the camera back all the way for a whole month. And we sat there, like, we fast forwarded. We didn't just look at it slowly, but Respucia, every time my customer was leaving, for some reason, like, I wasn't around. Like, I might have been in the kitchen. I probably be drinking me some drink. I probably be, like, because I don't just watch my customers. I don't be staring them down. I just let them eat and go back when ain't nobody over there. As I don't gave them everything they need. They don't need no drinks and anything. I don't stare my people down. So, anyway, Respucia was taking my tips every single day. When I tell y'all, $20 tips, $40 tips, $50 tips, $10 tips, $7 tips, $8 tips, ain't no telling how much money this girl had done stolen. I'm talking about, I ain't no telling. One day, somebody left a $100 bill on the table. It was 4 Mexican guys. They left a $100 bill on the table. And I remember because they was flirting with me the whole time. And I'm like, ain't no way these people ain't tipped me. And they was flirting with me the whole time. I mean, people can not tip you and flirt, but I'm a server, baby. If somebody flirting, they gonna tip you. 90% of the time, 10% they won't. But now, at my big age now, I ain't no server no more, but I will be if I have to, but play with me. But they had left me $100 too. He was like, oh, I know goddamn well she ain't walking around here stealing your tips. And guess what, y'all? She wasn't just stealing my tips. She was stealing everybody's tips. Respucia. She was trying to show us how to go down the slide, baby.
I'm gonna show you how a bitch go down the slide.
She was stealing everybody's tips. She was stealing Shan's tips, but she was stealing all of my tips. She was only stealing maybe 2 or 3 of their tips. But she was stealing all of my tips. She was stealing Shan's tips. She was stealing the other old lady tips. It was a guy. Well, he was a young boy. He was a server. She was stealing his tips. She was stealing all of mine. And she was stealing mine every day. But she was still theirs every other day. Because, like, the reason why he was looking, because you should be in nobody else's section. He was like, she ain't everybody's section. She just walking around, like, really picking up money off the table. So he called her in the office, y'all. Because he was like, you going to stay right here, or, you know, I can handle it by myself. He was like, but because she's stealing your money the most, I'm going to confront her. I'm going to fire her. And I don't know if he said he was going to replace the money or he was going to write me a check. Either way, I know they wrote me a check. But anyway, so he called her in the office. She was like, yes, sir. So she looked at me like, you need to talk to me? He was like, yeah, sit down. So she looked at me like,
You gonna talk to me with her now?
oh, it's not like, that's what she said. He was like, yeah, because it's concerning her. So she never sat down. She was like,
Well, what me and her got to do with anything? Like, what's going on?
manager, I'm just saying manager because I didn't give him a name. He was like, well, Miss Fountain Tips has been coming up missing. And she was like, oh,
What they got to do with me? I don't take nobody money but my own. She need to work harder, blah, 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 blah.
going on, yapping, running her big, flappy lips. Big, girl, if I was the woman I am today, I would fold your ass up, bitch. And I hope you see this. Anyway. She, blah, 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 talking junk. He was like, well, the cameras say different. And not only are you stealing her tips, you're stealing Shan tips, you're stealing Duval tips, and Miss Gracie tips. You're stealing everybody tips. So she look up at the camera. Now, if you a server, then you know all our money, all the credit card tips, everything go in we got the little book and go in our book with the receipts, the money, everything. So she looked at him. She was like, look,
it's hard for me right now.
and she walked out. She walked out with her book. Her book was so thick. She had so much money in it. And that was our money. All of that was not her money. Probably $100 or some dollars that money. She probably had, I remember he said, I think he said it was like $600 or some dollars that she left with. But she left with that book. She left with the uniform. She left with a hat, a jacket. She left and said, well, I got stuff going on. She just walked out. And he's like, where are you going? She was
Like, I'm leaving. You finna call the police station?
He was like, what? Excuse me, ma'am. Respucia, come back. Respucia, she walking on. He not chasing her. He not using a grip. Because he's not thinking she's about to actually just leave. That lady walked right on up out of there. Got in her car and left. And I ain't never see that bitch no more. No more. I never see her again. So after that, he called the police. He filed a police report. Whatever. He wrote me a check, and I quit. He was like, you gonna quit, Miss Fountain, after I just gave you a certificate, wrote you a check for all your lost funds? Yes, sir. This is not the job for me. Y'all have too much things going on. It has nothing to do with me. He was a new manager. He had just bought the facility over from somebody else, and I just did not feel like dealing with that. So he wrote me my check, and I quit. I think he wrote me a check for like $250. Yeah, and I quit. I called my ride, and I quit. So this was the time Respucia big black back ass was stealing my tips. Until next time, guys. Peace.